David Crandall here with an FL Studio tutorial. In this tutorial today I'm going to show you all the basic functions of FL Studio, or at least enough to get you started to making music in FL Studio. The first thing you're going to want to do is get yourself a copy of FL Studio. The best way to do this is to go to ImageLine's website, or flstudio.com, and download the demo, which you can use for a while. You can use all of its features. The only thing that you can't do is save your projects. You can export your songs as WAV files or MP3 files, but you cannot save your projects and work on them later. However, all the other functions are available for you to use. Once you've downloaded or purchased your copy of FL Studio, go ahead and open it up. You will see a song begins to load. This song is a bit of a demonstration of what FL Studio is capable of doing. You'll notice all the credits here for the person who wrote and produced and performed the song. You can click it and it will disappear. I'm going to go ahead and close this picture effect. So if you decide to start playing the song, this is what it should sound like. You may have some issues with the way the song sounds if the audio settings on your computer are not strong enough or correct to use FL Studio. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the basic audio settings that you will need in order to use FL Studio. Go ahead and go to Options, Audio Settings, and this window will come up. This is the settings window. Now that we have our audio settings window pulled up, we're going to choose a new sound driver. Go ahead and click this drop down menu and choose either your sound card, ACO device, or ACO for all. I prefer to use ACO for all because it allows you to use all the sound cards and interfaces as if they were one. This will increase the amount of inputs and outputs that you can use with FL Studio. If you go ahead and go down to your taskbar, you will see an ACO for all icon. Double click it to open it up, and here you will see the audio settings. This is probably what it will look like if you're running it for the first time. Click the wrench bar and this will pull up advanced settings. From here you can actually choose which inputs and outputs are available for FL Studio to use. Right now I have my Tascam US 1641 inputs and outputs selected, so I will be using all the inputs and outputs from my Tascam US 1641 audio interface. The main thing you're going to want to be aware of, aside from the inputs and outputs, is the ACO buffer size. If you have a very powerful and stable system, you will be able to have a low buffer size. However, if the buffer size is too low, you will begin to experience difficulties in the audio playback and recording of your projects. You may hear pops or buzzing or other odd noises that shouldn't occur in your recordings or in your audio playback. For me, especially while recording or having other programs pulled up, I prefer to have the ACO buffer size at 1024. So I'll go ahead and set it there and close. Now we can close the audio settings panel and go to File, New, and it will pull up a new document or project. By default it chooses a template which has a kick, a clap, a hi-hat, and a snare in what we call the channel selector. What the channel selector is a place for all of our sounds and instruments to be modified and used in our step sequencer. The step sequencer is a place where we can create beats, rhythms, and even sometimes melodies just by clicking these boxes. You can see I've pushed 4 times parts of the kick drum in the step sequencer. Let's play it to hear it back. We can watch below as this light kind of shows us where in the step sequencer things are being played, and we can even see each note light up as it is played. Let's go over the instrument or channel settings. When you click an instrument in your channel selector, a channel settings window will come up. From here you can listen to and modify the instrument or sample. If you click this waveform down at the bottom, you can preview what this will sound like. You can do this for each instrument. So now that we have a kick, a clap, and a hi-hat and a snare, we can go ahead and create our first rhythm. Now we have our first pattern. On the side of each channel, we can see 2 knobs and a light. The light on the far left will mute or play back the sound. If we click the light and the light goes off, the channel is muted. Notice how our kick drum is not playing. We can click it again to unmute it. We can do this for each of the channels. Another thing that we can do is adjust the panning. We can pan each instrument left to right from the first knob farthest to the left. So I'm going to pan this hi-hat slightly to the left, and you should be able to hear the difference. As it plays, I'm going to slide it to the right. Now back to the left again. The second knob is a volume knob. With it, we can adjust the volume of each instrument or each channel in our channel selector. I'm going to turn down the kick drum. I'm going to turn it back up again. These are the basic functions of the channel selector. Now that we have a rhythm, we can create another pattern and create a melody. Choose another pattern by going up to the pattern selector, clicking and dragging up slightly until it reaches 2. Now we've reached our second pattern. We need to add a melodic instrument to our channel selector so that we can create a melody. Go to the channels menu, and under Add One, you will see a large selection of instruments. I'm going to choose Citrus. Citrus is a demo that should come with FL Studio. You can click the piano keys and listen to what the instrument sounds like. Clicking this arrow will choose another preset, so you can hear another sound that the instrument has to offer. That's a pretty cool sound. If we click the step sequencer, it will play and it will loop a note. However, if we want to get creative and use multiple notes, we can do this in the piano roll. Right-click the channel and click Send to Piano Roll. Here is the piano roll. The piano roll is almost like a melodic playlist. On the left you will see piano keys. Next to that you will see a grid. The grid represents points within a measure and many different measures. Each measure is labeled by a number at the top in the timeline. This green bar represents the note. The length of this green bar represents the length of the note being played. If we press the play button, we can watch the timeline play the note. You can make a note longer by hovering over the edge of a note in the piano roll, clicking and dragging. I'm going to go ahead and drag this over to 2 measures. We notice that the bar is a bit long, and we need more room to see more bars so that we can create more notes more easily. To do this, hover over the edge of the scroll bar at the top of the piano roll, click, and drag to the right. Notice how the note gets smaller. Now the note isn't getting shorter in time, it just appears a bit smaller. I'm going to go ahead and add some more notes. So let's go ahead and hear our new pattern. Now I'm going to add one more C note and be done. Now I will close the piano roll and we can see a miniature version of our melody in the channel selector. Now let's make a song out of our 2 patterns. To do this, we need to use the playlist. Pull up the playlist by clicking the View Playlist button at the top of the screen. Here's our playlist. First thing we want to do is select our first pattern. So go to the pattern selector and choose 1. Click on this area and drag to create multiple instances of our pattern. If you've added too many, you can simply right-click one of them and continue to drag across until you have the perfect amount. To preview our song, click Song Mode and then click the play button. Now we need to add our melody. Simply go to the pattern selector and choose pattern 2. Come down to track 2 on the playlist, click, and you will see our pattern appear. Be sure to drag it all the way to the left if it isn't already. Here we can see, without even hearing it, that the drum beat needs to extend several more measures. Instead of coming back up to the pattern selector to get to pattern 1, we can simply click pattern 1 and then paint across until the very end. Now, let's hear our song. There we go. We've officially created a new song. Now, let's do some things to make our sounds sound a little better. Let's go ahead and close our playlist, close our instrument, and close everything else except for our channel selector. Let's say we wanted to add a delay effect to our hi-hat. Simply click the hi-hat and the channel settings will come up. Choose an effects channel. As we can see, our hi-hat is already in effects 3. This means that we can add effects to our hi-hat by opening our mixer and looking at Insert 3. If we play back our song, we can see the hi-hat waveform displaying in this meter. Now the mixer is a great place to add effects, adjust volume settings, and various other things for every instrument or sound that you use in your songs. Let's go over some of the things that are in the mixer. First, we have the master. The master represents everything that plays. Whether or not something is assigned to a mixer track, you could still adjust the master volume or the master output being played. So if I play our song and adjust the master track, we can see the volume of the entire song is going down. I'll go ahead and bring it back up about halfway. Above each track you will see a knob and a light. The light is the same as the light on our channel selector. It allows you to mute, turn on, or solo the track. If I were to right click Insert One's light, it will solo it. If I were to right click it again, all the other tracks will turn on. So I will right click it in solo and give it a listen. So you can hear the only thing playing is our kick and our melodic instrument. The reason our melodic instrument is playing is because it's not assigned to a mixer track. So let's assign it to a mixer track. Click the instrument in the channel settings, and in the channel settings up here, simply drag up and choose a channel. Or click the arrow on the top left corner of the channel settings and click Assign Free Mixer Track. This has now assigned it to track 5. Let's solo it and hear it by itself. Let's solo another instrument. And how about another? The knob below the light represents stereo separation. This means if a channel in our channel mixer is in stereo, we can choose how wide or how thin, if you will, the sound is. So I will turn it all the way up. Notice how it sounds like a mono track. When I pull it down, it becomes more separated. When I put it back in the center, it returns to its original state. Let's assign some effects to our hi-hat. Our hi-hat is assigned in channel 3. To the right, we can see a bunch of boxes with numbers on them. These boxes are effects banks, where effects can be assigned on our selected mixer channel. Since we've selected mixer channel 3, we can assign an effect. I would like to assign a delay effect. Simply left-click the arrow on the left side of the first box and scroll down to the desired effect. I'm choosing Fruity Delay 2, a delay effect that is very powerful and comes with FL Studio. Let's solo our track and let's listen to how it sounds. We can adjust various settings for this delay. For instance, we can adjust pan, volume of the delay, volume of the amount of delay, cut, the time, offset, and dry signal. For now, I'm going to just mess with this and get the right sound that I would like. Now that I'm done, I can close this box. Let's bring in all the other tracks and listen to how it sounds as a whole. Feel free to mess with the mixer track volume and various other things to get your song sounding exactly how you want it. Congratulations, you have created your first song in FL Studio. I would like to go back and discuss the difference between song mode and pattern mode. Pattern mode is the mode in which you create patterns in your step sequencer. Whenever you're in pattern mode, it will play whatever pattern that you have pulled up. It will not play a song that you have in your playlist. If you would like to play a song in your playlist, switch over to song mode. If you would like to edit a pattern, switch to pattern mode so that you can listen to it. These are the basic differences between the two modes. Pattern mode is to create patterns, and song mode is to create a full song in your playlist. In your playlist, you can create as many instances of as many patterns as you would like. This will allow you to create a very, very dynamic and very powerful and complex song. I'm going to show you an example of how complex a song can be by opening one of the projects provided by FL Studio. Let's go to our browser, which is on either the left side of the screen or can be accessed or closed by clicking the View Plugin or View Browser button. I'm going to click Projects and Cool Stuff. I'm going to simply click and drag one of the projects into the background here, and it will open it up. I'm not going to save this song because I really don't need to. If you would like to save your song, if you have a full version of FL Studio, not the demo song, then you can. If you only have the demo version, then you cannot save your song. I'm going to go ahead and give this song a listen. Now you kind of get an idea of how complex a song can be. Look at all the different patterns, all the different melodies that can be used in FL Studio. FL Studio is a very, very powered digital audio workstation where you can create songs digitally or by recording audio. I will teach you to record audio in another FL Studio tutorial. For now, you should now understand the basic features of FL Studio, at least enough to get you going. However, before I leave you, I want to show you how you can add other sounds to your channel mixer, aside from going to the channels and add one area. A great way to add or replace sounds, we can go to our packs and preview different sounds from different categories. So here in Drum Kit 2, there's a kick drum, and there are several kits here to listen to. Let's say that I would like to replace this kick drum with this kick drum. I can do that very easily by clicking and dragging on top and letting go of the kick drum. Now we have our new kick. Let's say I would like to add a crash cymbal to our channel selector. This sounds like a good crash. Simply click, drag, and drag under a channel and let go. Now we have our new kick and a new snare. That about covers this tutorial. I hope you've learned a lot and that you are able to create your own music in FL Studio. Until next time, this has been another one of my FL Studio tutorials. I hope you've learned a lot and that you understand the basic functions of FL Studio. And until next time, have fun making music.